Good morning, everybody. Time for video number 2 for my channel. Yeah, I'm so new to this and so green. I'm sure everybody says that when they start doing YouTube. I wanted to show you some really fun things that I had found. Yes, I do vintage and antique, but I also do home decor in my booth at Fearless Funky Finds. If it fits the definition of funky, then I find it. And these two guys, this rooster and hen, for me, they fit the definition, and they are going to be heading over to my booth. I got to price them up today. Lately, I've been kind of getting obsessed with 80s. I got married in 1985, and I remember the 80s very well. Right from the start to the finish, my whole life changed. I went from being a girl to being married to being a mother. And look at that great purple suede coat that I found. It's a swing coat, vintage denier, very 80s. I'm excited to price it up and get it over to the booth. I'd like to try to do some vintage clothing sales, actually. I've had my booth for 2 years now at Vintage Vendors in Oshawa. I used to sell vintage and antiques online back in around 2012, 13, 14. My husband and I had moved up north here, north of Toronto, to a kind of a cottagey area where he had a job for a couple of years, and the thrifting was fantastic. It was an area that had a lot of that has a lot of wealthy cottage owners, and some of those cottages would be passed down to the kids, and I think the kids would get rid of a lot of mom and dad's stuff from back in the day. So I was in heaven, and I had an Etsy store. I was selling stuff on eBay. I started doing Poshmark, and I was constantly running into town to the post office to do mail outs. But then everything changed, and my husband received an offer, and we decided to move to the Caribbean and live there for 5 years while he worked for a government down there. He's in the aviation field. And we did a 5-year stint on an island, and thrifting, not so much. Just a small island, and it was really just thrifted clothes and not a lot of vintage or antiques or anything like that. So I kind of had the brakes put on me for a few years. And I think what happened was, as soon as we got back to Canada, which we came back right at the beginning of COVID because things were changing rapidly, as everyone knows, came back to Canada, and I kind of went a little nuts going thrifting. Couldn't do that much during COVID, during the lockdowns, obviously. But then I started doing Poshmark, and everything was going along swimmingly. But then I realized that it was hard to store everything. Didn't really have, we were in a rental waiting for a condo to be built for us. And it got a little crazy. I had a house full of stuff that was just in a rental. We had a couple of storage units, and my poor husband's blood pressure was shooting up every time he saw me walking in the door with bags of stuff. So there you go. That's what it's like when you live with someone who has the disease. Anyway, long story short, got into the condo. Everything was great, except I had piles of stuff there. That's how I ended up here in my new little warehouse space. And yeah, I'm gonna take you off of here and show you a little bit better what I've got going on. Oh, vintage glasses. Absolutely love them. I've got some vintage clothing going on. There's an awesome pair of vintage Tommy Hilfigers with embroidery all the way down the legs. I like to paint as well, so I am hoping that once I get myself organized in here that I will have an area to pop my easel up, as if I don't have enough to do already. And I love to sew, and I love to make things with vintage fabrics. So I also love books. I love it all. As I said, I have the sickness, whatever it's called, thriftitis, a touch of hoardertism, more than a touch. I just love finding things like this too. Harley stuff. I can just see the guy who's going to buy that and walk around enjoying it. I love thrifted Afghans. I got a beautiful one on the couch in the corner here, which is for my dog Lily, who I did not bring today because she has a tendency to stare me down and say, I want to go home, I want to go home. These are absolutely awesome, these little parrot bookends. Got a little selection of mirrors that are waiting to find a space. Ooh, banker's lamps. They always sell. Oh, just love these vintage lamps that just have so much character compared to what you find nowadays. Anyway, yes, colored vintage glass. I can't stop, you guys. I don't think I'll be able to quit. So I got to make the best of it. And I want to take you along for the ride. I want to keep it short again today. I'm going to start doing some thrift hauls. I just got to figure all this stuff out. I'm comfortable talking to the camera, but technology is another thing. I am a boomer. I'm one of the last of the boom. The last 2 years of the boom. Technically Generation Jones. Look it up. We're like a little micro group, not quite full-on boomers and not Gen X. So lived with the old world most of my life. Didn't get a computer until the mid-90s, and I remember my husband and I were like afraid to go on the internet because all we had heard was lots of scary stuff about getting online and all the weird stuff that was on there. It's been an interesting ride. Anyway, welcome to Fearless Funky Finds once again. I hope you stop by often, and if you like it, hit the like button and subscribe. See what I do with this thing. Thanks so much.